With Beyblade X Arc 2, we are on episode 53 with A Signs of a New Era. Now, I've got to say that Beyblade X overall for the start of the new arc has been, I would say, at a good start. I think overall the visual direction and presentation's been really, really nice to watch, and it felt a lot less bland than a lot of like the first season that the X anime felt like, or Arc 1 if you will. Not to say that there wasn't good moments in it, obviously there was, but I think just like overall we're off to a pretty good start. There's a lot of setup that they do in this episode. A big thing that they're setting up here is the eventual match with King versus Burn, because it's Yggdrasil versus Zuganic, and they're both trying to climb up to face off against the top of Pendragon, but they eventually have to clear through each other. So King at the start of this episode is basically practicing with Pan and Toguro, and they're basically just at awe of Leon Crest's power, and King goes, yes, this is a mighty Beyblade for this King! Leon Crest, amazing defensive power! And what they're kind of setting up, and they kind of set up a little bit previously, is like this drone that's spying on everyone, where Tenka is gathering data, I guess, on all these other bladers. And eventually, I'm assuming it's going to probably lead into next week or maybe even the week after, when we're going to see Tenka versus Common X. Basically, how this kind of progresses is now we see Rex versus King. One of the funny things I liked in this episode is when Bird's like, oh yeah, wow, Rex is like a super strong, powerful blader. And Multi's like, yeah, gee fucking wonder. I wonder who battled against him and lost. I think it's funny. Yeah, this episode, nice comedy in it. So, very interesting here is just a lot of the direction in this episode, like visually speaking, I think is really, really nice. I like Rex's fluidity and movement when he's kind of doing like that little pose chant that everyone's doing. I like a lot of like the close zoom-ins. I think the shadow and the lighting is kind of interesting. I think just to be honest, it feels in art especially like there's a lot more creative visuals that they're trying to go with. And it actually like is nice to watch. So the battle starts, and by the way, in general for Beyblade X, the music, especially I think now, has been really, really catching. When I'm listening to it, it sounds really, really good. I really liked King and Rex's battle because it shows off Leon Crest's defensive ability. So Rex is constantly trying to go for that big hit each time, but he's not having any success with it. He tries to go for the extreme dash, jump in the air, and slam. I really like the utilization of Rex's avatar. I think a big thing, I'm just going to say avatar, whatever creature, a big thing that I did not like in the first season, and they kind of did it here and there, but if you have the 4-time system, and you have all these designs for like these creatures, you should be utilizing them a lot more, because that's one of the coolest aspects of like Beyblade, like the manifestation of their power. So I thought that was really cool, and Leon Crest still repels it, and then after King is like, listen, you're boring me, is that all you got? And then after he goes for the extreme dash, he goes for it. I think it's called the Crest of King or whatever for that movie, is going in to slam into it. So with King, it's like, hey, this is not just defensive, this lion has claws too. And then after like the lion breaks free, because like his manifestation of Crest is like this wall, but then the lion comes out, and I think that's really, really cool. And then he gets, I think it's like an extreme finish or whatever, it just knocks the Bey out. Either way, he knocks the Bey out, and then after King wins. So a big thing also going into this is that Multi, I'm pretty sure Multi did make the UX system to my memory, and all these other bladers are like adopting UX. And I think what's interesting about it is kind of the focus on this, where I guess she's seeing that King, who I believe did take inspiration from like Multi's UX system, has been able to utilize UX far better than Multi has. I think she's just like paused on the work trying to figure out, you know, on like this roadblock, what can she do to improve. So I guess that's also the reason why later on the episode why she doesn't show up to help with like Zuganic's sparring, because I guess she's stuck in the Baycrafter. Now what I'm kind of thinking here is potentially the setup that they're trying to do. I will give minor spoilers, which if you care about spoilers, I don't know, whatever. Just skip ahead to whatever timestamp I'm gonna put on here. Hopefully I put a time. If I don't put a timestamp, well then it sucks to suck. But Multi does face off against Tenka in the manga, and she does lose. She does use Night Shield. So what I think they're potentially doing here is that Multi's gonna be looking at her defense bay and thinking, I need to improve the defense to the next level in order to have a good defensive option. And eventually that'll be how she develops Nightmail. I think probably for the anime, she'll probably see how King's been able to utilize all those defensive capabilities and maybe find some way to really improve on the best aspects of her base potential. Which I think that's probably what makes the most sense there. Now, a big thing also is that after King wins the match, by the way, he's calling out Yggdrasil, like, hey, a right-burn Fujiwara, I'm calling you out, stop hiding. And I think Burn's been pretty sure like delaying like this match between each other because like Uni and Zunamus is there, but Burn is not there. I'm pretty sure the reason why Burn has not been, I guess, accepting the match and King's been like trying to, I guess, push the B4 to make the match or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's just because he's been working on Phoenix Rudder and kind of completing it. So afterwards, basically, King is practicing with Bird. And afterwards, he gets this invitation from Burn or whatever. And afterwards, he's approaching the Yggdrasil Tower. And then after he goes off to see Burn Fujiwara. Now, what's interesting here is that they're both under the impression that, you know, oh, so-and-so said this, so now let's face off. And King pulls out his Leon Crest, and something I really, really like in this episode is when Burn summons his Phoenix Rudder. I feel like Burn in the first season was done really dirty because they kind of hyped this guy up so much, the music and everything, and he kind of felt really sidelined right away. But when he pulls out Phoenix Rudder, I absolutely love how they're setting up the 4-time system and the visual presentation of like the fire and everything and the actual Phoenix coming out. I think this is like the creative stuff you need with the 4-time system. It can literally manifest like what, like the AI things and whatever. Like, yeah, play around with it. Make cool environments where you can use with it. Play more to this. This is good. Really like it. And they basically set up their match, and immediately when their match starts, you don't see much of it because this is just formal. This is not like the actual match. Tenka appears, interrupts it with Samurai Saber, and sends both their bays back. And I really like it when she's appearing. You see like the 4 times of like these flower petals where she appears, and they're like, "Who are you?" And she just, yeah, after that she just dips. The entrance was fucking cool though. Like I really liked seeing that. Afterward, it seems she's gathered enough data to eventually, I guess, face Common X, and the episode kind of ends. I think probably what they're gonna be leaning on to is we'll probably see pretty soon, maybe in the next 2 episodes, Multi eventually get Night Mail and she'll like finally figure out how she can draw out her base potential. I think also interesting in the preview is that we see, what is it? Shieru is kind of probably lost without Chrome because part of his entire purpose in the first season was he needed Chrome. He wanted to like get his approval and all that stuff, but since Chrome's kind of missing, I think we might see him kind of just do something else. Because what is it? The Pendragon, whatever, the team, the business partners, whatever, like, hey, we can do this without Chrome, so go do that. But I think that's probably why in the opening you see Shieru kind of in like this Arctic place, whatever. I think it would be really, really cool to see Pendragon eventually get updated bays, like let's say all of them in UX or whatever. I do wonder also with Chrome, just kind of leading on with more thoughts, because we see in the opening that there is like this dragon creature. I wonder if Chrome missing that dragon creature is maybe really kind of pushing on this thing that they might go under, because he's missing and all that stuff. Where did he go? Like, I don't want them to do it, but I was thinking something along the lines of maybe like a Red Eye arc for him, or something like that, because he's missing, they don't know what's going on. I don't know if they would go in that direction. I think maybe he might just go more crazy this season, because I don't know, it's just thoughts to think about. But I like how they're setting up everything with Tenka. Again, the story writing I think is really nice. I think the presentation's also been, I would say, up to a better standard than what we've previously seen. I would say for most of Beyblade X has maybe been below average, but I think really this time around it's something where I can say that's pretty nice. So yeah, second episode, I thought a lot of good animation cuts, a lot of good presentation and direction, interesting story that they're trying to set up. And yeah, that's kind of it. So if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and comment your thoughts. What did you think of this episode? Huh? What are your predictions for anything? Let me know. And as well, Mullibays! It's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. We have some pre-orders left over, I think, for the upcoming November releases. Most of the stuff is on Batch 2. Keep in mind, Batch 2 will arrive later than Batch 1. But yeah. I might do shorts of episode battles in the future. Maybe that'd be a cool thing to do, because then after I could do Leon Crest versus Tyranno Beat and that other, yeah, that'd be fun. Well, thank you all for watching. That's going to be it for now. I want to say take care and bye.